Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So starting off with Euro USD as usual, and I just want to start off on the weekly, just highlighting this pin bar here off structure. So you can see there's my inside tails. If I swing to the left, you can see there's been quite a significant amount of price action around this area. So this is looking like a rejection of this area, and that is at 103681. If we start looking at what's on offer for today, that is starting to look like a bit of a top, to be honest, and probably some kind of rejection. We do have the moving average crossover, and we are above them on the 8 hours. So, technically on the 8 hour the trend is up. On the weekly the trend is still down, but this is where it starts getting pretty interesting. So what could happen here is we could flip this into some sort of a flag to get above there, but for me, this bottom, just keep that weekly level in, but this low of last week is critical. That's 746, sorry. A break and retest of that brings these levels to the downside, all into play. So let's get to the hour. Right now, you can see moving average crossover. Don't really want to be jumping in short at the moment. Could just turn out to be a range, so you need to be pretty careful about this one at the moment. But if we do get another rejection, a decent rejection of this weekly level here at 103,681, I would treat that as top of range, or alternatively, I would treat it, that's null and void, so let's just do that. I would treat it as a flop bottom triangle. So I'm looking for a rejection back here again at 103,685. Alternatively, I want to see a break of 102,746 and a retest that area, and then that would bring these levels to the downside into play. That's 101,976 and 101,052. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen, and also a bit of consolidation happening here. If you look at this on the 8 hour, spent the whole week consolidating, basically ended up with a sort of a, what to call it, could be a pin bar, or it could be a range, but it's not a really solid bit of price action that. And if we look at this again on the 8 hour, we start breaking above these two levels that we have to the upside here, then I would expect us to move a little bit higher, but we are going to get capped by something like that, which would be 142,688. This to me on the 8 hour is screaming just sit still. We have a crossover here brewing, separated as well. This could just turn out to be some kind of little flag for another move to the downside. Bear in mind, we still have a gap to the downside here. This is not closed on the 8 hour at least. This is a pin bar off the gap, so that gap is still open. Let's just get the gap exact, and then you'll see this on the hour as well. That gap is open. I want to see a solid bar down there, not a tail. So last week was pretty much ranging, and that's kind of the same scenario that we have here. I'd be watching this area here at 147.65. Not sure I won't be taking a trade off that because we do have a crossover with oscillators. So mixed signals right now. I'm going to want to see a break of Friday. So Friday's lows here. If we can get a break of that, pretty expensive stop loss of 1,500 points, but that should bring this bottom zone into play, which is 138.441, 137.792. But for me, I'm going to need to see the break and the retest before looking at this. So that is a sit on hands until I see some structure forming there. Moving on to pound, British pound, Japanese yen. We're still very much in this channel. Nothing's really changed from yesterday, or from last week. In the channel, moving average is flat. This is brewing for something. Oscillators group to the upside. Everything is telling us this is more than likely going to be a break to the downside. So I'd be looking for a zone here. Probably have to pick this up on the hour. Let's just pay attention, and you can see where we are flirting with at the moment. Look at price action here from last week. You can see really messy. At the moment, oscillator is not agreeing with the 8-hour. So I would be looking for a break of the low of Friday, which is 166.121. I want to see a breakdown and a retest for a move to the downside. So that would be the only trade that I'd be looking at for this break of this channel, and it'd have to be the low of Friday. We've got a gap at the moment, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see us just muck around. It is Monday as well, so you probably find some strange price action happening, or some subdued price action, should I rather say. So that's the level to pay attention to. We break 166.125, retest, then it's game on. Then we're looking to trade this thing to the downside. Right now, it's sit on hands. Moving on to Euro British Pound, and this is really messy. We've got a fairly strong channel here, and ultimately we need to break through this channel one way or another. We have been going sideways for so many weeks now. Let's see, since since 5th of October, we've just been going sideways. So could be more of the same, or we could be brewing for something. This pair is pretty interesting on the lower time frames. I think when you've got 20 minutes to kill, it's actually quite interesting, because you can get in quickly on the 5-minute, 3-minute charts, and you can ride it out for a quick 100 points. So Friday was one-way traffic to the downside. I would argue that if we start breaking below the lows of Friday, then I would expect this to continue. Alternatively, I would like to see some kind of a pullback, and we have had a pullback to this area, and that's at 0.87101, and then there is another little tail here which we're not really respecting just yet, so that would be 0.86952. London breakout strategy is the one you want to pay attention to here. First 8 1-hour bars, draw your range around that. Break to the upside, then you're coming to test some of these inside tails here. If you start breaking to the downside, then I suspect we're aiming to break the low of Friday, and that's basically, we've had three lows in a row. So that's kind of my view at the moment. But anyway, it is Monday, so Forex is typically pretty slow on a Monday, so pay attention to your levels. More than likely you'll get the rejections and support at the levels. There won't be any catalyst that's going to drive it in the opposite direction. So typically you can get some trades in, and they're normally relatively quiet and calm. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.